The land is our foundation, and Land Synergy is here to solidify and restore. Join us as we connect the dots of land restoration, sustainable practices, and self-sufficiency. It's time to get rooted.
Welcome back to Land Synergy, guys. Welcome back. So today, guys, I just wanted to get on here and just talk to you guys. Excuse the back noise. That is the car warming up. What is your perspective? That's simply what I wanted to share. Is what is your perspective on the work that you do? I had a very candid conversation with a client of ours, and she was just sharing how she would rather spend 16 hours working out on her own yard than working for someone else. And the basic foundational element to what she was sharing was that she feels embedded in what it is that she's doing. It's not just a means to an end. And so with land synergy and everything we talk about, guys, what is your perspective? We just removed 2 trees from a client's property, and yesterday when we was cleaning up, we got a lot of the leaves, etc. It hit us that there's no waste. We look at the work that we're doing as ingraining and synergizing the land. Yes, there are trees being cut down, but ultimately seeing that from shit comes flowers, and from flowers comes shit, the process of life and death. And so that's not to say, and that's not to minimize the damaging effect that humans as a whole on an industrial level is doing to the planet. Absolutely not. But it's also to say that there is life and death in everything that we do, and having that perspective of appreciation. And so that's the perspective that we have taken with these trees and the work that we're doing. It's not just a means to an end. We just got done filling up our second bucket of ash, and as we're putting it into it, just appreciative. We burnt down a lot of branches, and it's our second bucket. Just knowing that come springtime, we have a source of minerals that we can incorporate into the soil. We've been learning a lot about this too, guys. Little side note: remember the saying, it's not what's in the soil, it's what's happening in the soil. A lot of what I've been learning as of recently, as pertaining to plants, is that it's not necessarily what you're putting into the soil. It is what's happening, because the plants, it's a cacophony or a symphony, if you will, of microbes and all these micro bacteria, etc., that do things. They poop, excrete, and create enzymes, etc., that affect the plant's chemistry, and they uptake this. Like, plants are literally like farmers in that they farm certain microbes within their roots to create certain processes. So that switches up how I've started to see gardening. It's not, I can't just put these minerals from the trees and the ash into the soil and plant seeds and hope everything's growing. Instead, I have to look at the foundational element of the soil itself. What is the soil composed of? What's happening within? What are the predominant microbes within this, and how is it happening? The compost. I just left the compost, one of our composts, and I mixed in just a little bit of the ash from yesterday's fire pit or fire. And it was just so many worms. As I turned it, it's just so many worms, and it hit me. The poop that's being excreted from the worms is creating certain microbes, and then those microbes are getting eaten. And so it's just a whole, that right there. I'm not saying we shouldn't be aware of the soil, but I feel like foundation, if we can just see that, there's life within the soil, it will take care of itself. It was here millions of years before we was even a thought. Guys. As you know, thoughts are of a higher frequency, and then they become more solid as you get into this reality. Thoughts are quick. You can have all these thoughts, and that's why thoughts are associated with the heavenly realm, etc. But we're not going to get into that. This is to break down the simple point that soil is foundational, and you don't have to do nothing. All you need to do is what you're already doing. You don't need to take care of the soil. You simply need to get things in it and let it do its job. Period. If I cut you, your body's going to heal itself. You don't have to sit and think about it. It's going to do it itself. That is the same element and the same force, the same energy that is taken and not symbolizing, but synergizing the earth. I don't know how we got in the soil, but I'm very passionate about that because I'm excited, very excited at seeing it come into practice. It's not just putting the ash in it. It's, composting the ash, being aware of the microbes, etc. But back to the central theme, guys. What are you doing on your property, on your homestead, within your jobs? Because I'm sure you're not just doing your homestead. Maybe you have other endeavors that you're building and you're incorporating into your income stream so that you can supplement your homestead and your farm and your garden. What is your perspective on the work that you do? Is it a means to an end, or is it adding to the abundance that is already there? That's our perspective. The trees that we cut down, the work that we do, it is adding to the experiential, experiential, but also the practical, which is money, and also the resources that are with those jobs. No longer are we trying to do every single job just for the money. No, honing in on what we can do that adds to the overall connection of land synergy. The garden, the farm, the idea, the brand, all that, guys. Everything that we do from this podcast will be redistributed into an article and made into a YouTube video. What are you doing now that is adding and multiplying? You plant seeds, guys. Plant seeds, and those seeds will continue to sprout, and when you'll look back one day, you'll have a forest of abundance. Plant now. Plant